L.O.T.S Prove Me That Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. That part. Y'all know what it's in for. Check this out, man. I want to welcome everybody to episode number 77 of Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. We on late once again tonight, y'all. That part. Bada boom, bada bang. All right. We got in the comment section. Empress Jess, good evening. Good evening, Empress. Good evening. Good evening. All right. That part, that part. All right, let's cut some of this intro music off right now. L.O.T.S Prove Me That Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast, episode number 77. I'm the incomparable, the off the imitate but cannot be duplicated. The one they took their style from, the elected, appointed voice of the streets, leader of the streets, learning off the streets, etc., etc. I'm the one that keeps creating what they keep taking. I am top op public enemy number one. That part. And this is the L.O.T.S Approved Media. This is powered by L.O.T.S Approved Media. And I want to welcome everybody to Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast, episode number 77. That part. All right. Now, you guys, another Friday. We're here. As soon as you guys come in the building, do me a favor. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. All right. We call that wiping your feet on the rug, same way you do at your grandparents' house. Show that you was raised correctly. Hit that like button. Do me a favor. Share this podcast to all your friends and your loved ones. Like I always say, don't be a ninja watcher. It's a person that be creeping and watching. Don't be no pocket watcher, because that's just a hater. And you definitely don't want to be one of these, ladies and gentlemen. We call that a peeping Tom. You heard me? That part. Now, as usual, we had a very eventful week. Very, very eventful week. Do me a favor, if you're in the building, also leave a comment in the comment section. Top up, that part. Yeah, the background, that part, that background music, that's courtesy. All the music you see, the intro and the outro, that's courtesy my man Ezo, and I'm fond of it also. All right, now, you guys, we had a very, very eventful week, as usual. There's some surprises throughout the week that I was kind of happy to see. All right, Planet goddamn in the building, that part, eyes behind my head, you heard? Planet, we on late tonight, all right? Graveyard shift once again, just to see where the people's at. You guys should be turning on your notification bells. So every time I drop new content, you guys get notified, all right? So turn your notification bells on for me. All right, now, this week, obviously, we're going to speak about some things. I want to give a shout out to some of the fighters that's going to, some up-and-coming fight that I'm seeing. For one, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, that's something I think that's going to be, it's going to be a historical event, for nonetheless. And I'll get into the details of how important this fight is. And I'm pretty sure there's people gonna have they beast with the, obviously his age is a concern, all right? So we'll speak about that. Definitely we'll speak about Shannon Sharp. I don't know if you guys see this viral picture of Shannon Sharp. It's gonna be a lot of, safe to say, it's gonna be a lot of speaking about Shannon Sharp. I told you, for the most part, Shannon Sharp has made it to that level where he's recognized on a higher level. When you're talking about his celebrity is up. So now, basically, he's under a microscope at this point. So everything that Shannon Sharp does, we're going to be aware of, all right? And we'll speak about this viral picture. Also, we have somebody took off the gloves in reference to Dame Dash and Steven Stout. You guys know music execs Steve Stout. His reputation exceeds himself. Also, you guys very familiar with Dame Dash. So we'll speak about Dame Dash's ongoing thing with Steve Stout, Mr. Steve Stout. I don't know if you guys had a chance to witness. I seen somebody appear to be running, a comedian. Speaking of Shannon Sharp, you know what I mean? Segue, comedian Cat Williams was seen doing running a 40-yard dash. And you guys know, ever since Cat Williams spoke about his speed and how he could run, he said that whole Mike Tyson teaches the youngsters a lesson. That part, being a celebrity is a curse in my eyes, more or less. Well, you know what I mean? You can look at the cup halfway full or halfway empty. You know what I mean? But it's all about perception, what you see in it, what you get out of it, you know. But nonetheless, Cat Williams was seen running a 40-yard dash. You will speak about Cat Williams with his super speed. Cat Williams has it for his age. He's age 52. All right. And he's out here still running the 40-yard dash. You know what I mean? Inspiration to everybody at that age. Shout out to Cat Williams and his infamous interview that he did with Shannon Sharp. All right. Bada bing. What else we got here, man? Let me see here. Bada bing, bada bang. Pictures of Russell Simmons with Usher and Bally. We'll speak about that also. Russell Simmons with Usher. Pictures, photos of them in Bally, which appears like they were doing yoga. We'll talk about that now. It's some shocking things. Shout out to Meek Mill, new release of a new project, a new EP. We'll speak about the sales with Meek Mill. Also, Schoolboy Q's first week numbers. We'll speak about Schoolboy Q also. What else we got here? This is big. All right, we're gonna speak about Drea. I think her name is Drea Michelle. I'm not sure what was the last. No, Drea. What's Drea's last name? Oh, well, she's pregnant. Mrs. Drea. Drea is pregnant for NBA player. Goes by the name of Jalen Green, which is only 22 years old. Now the discrepancy is Drea is age 39. We'll speak about that also. Well, I think we probably could start off with that, if anything. All right. Check this out. I don't know if you guys familiar with Drea. Drea is she's a model. She's been on internet shows on the internet. She's very famous, a very fair-looking, very beautiful woman. Nonetheless. All right. I'm not sure if her name was Drea Michelle. I think it might be Drea Michelle. Let me see here. Let me see her last name. But nonetheless, Drea is in the headlines. Now, like I said, she's a very, very beautiful woman. I forget where do we how we got first introduced to her. I forgot what show she was on. But nonetheless, it's a very, very beautiful woman. Once again, looks to be like she's from Philadelphia. All right. Now, there's an NBA player that we've been seeing on the internet that she was in a relationship with this young guy. Everybody's speaking about Drea Michelle and the age of the young guy. The guy's from the NBA. All right. He goes by the name of Jalen Green. All right. She's currently pregnant for Mr. Green, in which she announced her pregnancy. Now, with that being said, there's an age. Yes, her name is Drea Michelle. All right. So now, with that being said, Drea Michelle, there's an age factor with her. Women's Day. Today was International Women's Day, and this is true. All about perception. Facts, though. Yeah, shout out to all the women. I know this is International Women's Day, but shout out to all the women in the world. You know what I mean? The women, we wouldn't be nothing without women. All right. I was raised by a woman, single parent home, so women are very, very important and very impactful in my life. All right. But nonetheless, back to Drea Michelle. Drea Michelle. She's a woman. She's 39 years old. Very beautiful woman. Now, the man that she's pregnant for, like I said again, is Jalen Green. This guy he's 22 years old. He plays in the NBA. Now, a lot of people are giving Drea, she's backlash just for the age difference. She's 39 and the kid is only 22. All right, so now there's a lot of different factors. We can look at this the conventional way, which everybody's looking at the convention, the average consumer, the average person. If we do a consensus, I'm pretty sure everybody adopts that same philosophy. All right, there's an age difference right there. That's the elephant in the room. You know what I mean? And you have to speak on that. So with that being said, now Drea at age 39, a lot of people are saying that Drea is chasing this young man. A lot of people believe that Drea is chasing this young man because of his age. The vitality, his age, for the fact that the man plays in the NBA. The kid is in the NBA. The kid is, like I say, he's 22. Mr. Jalen Green's 22. He plays in the NBA. So those are common factors that everybody's going to look at. They're going to say, okay, Drea's chasing right now. Drea's chasing the check. That's why she's dealing with a young nigga, right? Now, keep in mind, like I said, the kid is only 22 years old. Now, we all know about the money issue. The kid is playing the NBA. Obviously, he's going to be a very wealthy young man. If not, he's already wealthy, right? Drea, nonetheless, Drea is she's not poor nonetheless, but at the end of the day, a woman doesn't want to spend her own check. Well, of course she wants to deal with a man that brings in more income. Now, this is all about elephant, just him being a different age. First of all, for one, I wonder how people feel like, is it a thing where it becomes predatory, right? A lot of people are saying this is a double standard in the industry. All right, let's just talk about it. The age that she is in comparison to this young man. But conventionally, usually it's an older man trying to get at a younger woman, right? And we know when we look at things in that perspective, you know what I mean? It's kind of cringing to look at it like that, thinking about an older man that's preying on a younger woman, all right? Now, naturally, throughout, if you just do a consensus, the general public, we're against that, right? We look down upon that. Now you have this whole situation that's reversed now. Now you have an older woman, all right? Once again, she's a very beautiful, the chick is beautiful, right? You got an older woman, obviously, with all the beauty that she possessed. She's perceived as, oh, you're the new double standard. You're preying on this younger man for obvious reasons that the man has a check, right? That's the dynamics right there. Usually the man is not after this is the dynamics. A woman looking at a man for a check. And we're going to make some correlations with that. Woman looking at a man for a check versus a man looking at a younger woman. When a man looks at a younger woman, we want to invest in women, period. So 9 times out of 10, the man is going to invest in this younger woman. But the genders have changed. So obviously, with the genders changing, you got to think about the objective changes also. So it's no longer the same gender, right? So now this is an older woman. As opposed to an older man trying to invest in a younger woman, you have an older woman that wants a younger man to invest in her. So this is where you see the dynamics change in this situation. So you cannot look at it like a one size fits all, right? This situation is it's kind of like polar opposites when you're talking about the intent. You're talking about the things that you're going to receive, the rewards of doing things like this, right? Man versus woman. Now, obviously, when a man does that, we look at a man like a predator. Nonetheless, this is why she's receiving the backlash. There's a little piece of us that feel like she should not be getting away with this because men don't get away with this. Now, I'm not sure how much of an effect this man. First of all, this man is 22 years old. Let's just call a spade a spade. He's 22 years old. The man obviously is a mature young man. All right. With that being said, it's not like what he's doing is against the law. Obviously, there's a reason why there's a law there and there's an age limitation there. The man is 22. He's 4 years past the legal age to be dating a younger woman. This is obvious things that I'm explaining, but we have to take this into consideration. With that being said now, is she actually preying on this young man or is she just preying on a man? A woman requires to be taken care of at the end of the day. And you have to take into factor is that she's getting at this young man for obvious reasons. He's young, he's naive, he's not experienced in dealing with a woman that's so advanced and so pretty, obviously. So these things can be blinding to this young man. These are the things that people are skeptical about, right? Don't shoot the messenger. These are things that people are skeptical about, right? But as a fact that once again, the main concern is she wants to be taken care of by a man, though it's not the age that we are used to, that we accept, right? Obviously. But you factor in all the naiveness of this young man, vice versa, right? Now, you have a thing called willpower. The man is of age. He's getting at her. Who's to say that he's that naive? Who's to say that he's not trying to take advantage of her? He has his objective also. And to be at the age of 22, you have to be skeptical about making excuses for a young man's choices at that age, all right? The man is 4 years past. He's 4 years past the legal age. Keep in mind, once you reach 21 and 22 of these ages, once you pass 18, I think legally you could purchase a firearm, okay? You're 21, at 18, kids are in the military. You got kids in the military making grown people choices. So though, yeah, they're at an inexperienced age, they're still past the legal age. So when you look at it, is she actually doing something wrong? This man already got Drea pregnant, which is something that we have to do. We have to procreate out here. So you cannot blame the man for getting the girl pregnant. All right? They're bringing a child into this world. So those are things that we have to accept because that's organic, that's natural. That's what you would expect, right? So you're speaking about the naiveness. That's the only thing that I think that people are more concerned over. But I don't think that's reason enough to condemn her. All right? Me, myself, I'm not against an older woman talking to a younger man. I'm not against that. All right, because we're put here to populate the planet, and we as men, that's what we're here for. Main primary objective. And not every woman's gonna be the ideal age. Let's just be honest here. But we have to procreate. We have to make children out here. This is natural life. So when people are judging Dre or Michelle, we have to keep that in mind. Yeah. She's getting at him because he got paper. But I don't think it's necessarily just because of his age, but age does play a factor. But does that trump the natural desire and the instinct to breed, regardless of the fact he's a young man? It's a grown man, young man, and he already breeded her at this point. All right. Now, when you're looking at an older gentleman and he's doing it with a younger woman, it's the same thing. We think about the naiveness of a younger woman, right? But for some reason, we as people, when we correlate the two, we as men, we get the bad end of the deal. We as men, when you see an older man speaking to a younger woman, I'm not speaking about the ages of 28, 29. Those are cool ages. But when you get a little bit below that, when you start getting to the 26s, the 25s, the 23s, the 22s, it gets more and more cringy. We're trained like that as a society. That's what we're trained to see. When we see older men, we think, and then we start assuming things that we haven't seen, right? We start assuming like, oh, he's a predator. He's around her. He's probably was looking at her from a younger age. So now this is where it gets a little bit deeper, because a lot of people are under assumption that if you talk to a younger woman, if a woman speaks to a younger man, there's a chance, there's a probability that they were interested in that same girl or same woman, same girl, same man before their legal age. Now, this is our main concern right here, right? We're concerned, was Dre and Michelle focused on this young man prior to him being 18? Was she aware of this young man prior to him being 18, right? Because you stumbling into the gray area of a predator at that point. Does she have a thing for younger men? That's a question. Now listen, I'm just putting things in speculation, right? I'm playing devil's advocate, but no, am I not by no way, shape, or form saying that Dre and Michelle is a predator. All right, nor an older man. You got to think about what Shaq was doing. Shaq at his age hollering at when Shaq, they presumed that Shaq was hollering at that girl from Home Depot. They was thinking about that, right? This subject is very, 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 it's a critical subject. It's a critical subject nonetheless. All right. So when you think about these two, the crazy how women don't get the same consequences when they are indeed predators. Facts though. Now, once again, you saying the word predator. This is an unbiased platform, so I'm curious to know how everybody feels. But that's what they're calling Dre and Michelle. They're considering Dre and Michelle a predator. All right. I don't know how how did she become aware of this man? Through what channels did she become aware of this man? Was this a friend of hers, a child? Was this a mutual friend's child? Was it somebody close to you that you watched this kid grow up as an adolescent? Or were you totally oblivious to this man existing? All right. If y'all don't know, we talking about an NBA player, Mr. Jalen Green. All right. I don't believe that's his name. Yes, sir. Jalen Green. He's pregnant, right? He pregnant Dre and Michelle. We're all familiar with Dre and Michelle, very beautiful Instagram model. I would call it the new age Instagram model, right? Didn't the world just crucified Marcus Houston with his wife being 19 and he 42? Now listen, you're making a valid point right there. You're making a valid point right there. Yes, she was 19. And see, when you speak of 19 now, when you're going below the ages of 21, I didn't even go below 21 there. So Victor Burst, man, I like that. I like that comment right there. Didn't the world just crucify Marcus Houston with his wife being 19 and he's 42? That part. Nah, he definitely received a lot of backlash for that. A lot of criticism for that, right? And we already know about his past. We're not going to go into his past because I don't want to persuade people's opinion of him. just for sake of this subject. But he has a promiscuous past also, right? A very peculiar past, to say the least. All right. But yes, he received a lot of backlash for that, him being a man, talking to a woman that's 19. All right. So these are things that we're seeing out here. And like I said, it's becoming more and more of a topic when we see subjects like this. And I think one day we're gonna have to address this. Eventually we gotta just address this double standard. Because I find it weird. At one point there was a double standard with Puffy and Young Miami. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to home team Young Miami. At one point there definitely was a problem with that. All right. Obviously Puff being his age, past the age of 50, Young Miami being about 28, 27. I know Young Miami just turned 30, I believe. All right. So people are always skeptical about Young Miami and Diddy's relationship. All right, let me address some of these people in the comment section. Shout out to Paul Bizzle in the comment section. I see you, champ. Peace, fam. I'm in the building. That part, my brother. Yeah, we call this the graveyard shift. You heard? That's why I want everybody to keep their notification bells on. Make sure you guys are sharing this podcast. Right now, we're just speaking about Bizzle. Right now, we're speaking about Mrs. Drea Michelle, beautiful Instagram model, dating NBA player Mr. Jalen Green. All right? And I'm curious to know what team Jalen Green plays for. Let me see what team Jalen Green plays for, man. Let me see what's going on. But nonetheless, she's talking to this man, and there's a double standard out there. Basically, this is an older woman, age 39, talking to a man that plays in the NBA. Goes by the name of Jalen Green. All right. He plays for the Trail Blazers. All right. So shout out to Jalen Green. He plays for the Trail Blazers. Now, this is a young man, 22. He's currently dating, and that's now his baby mother, Drea Michelle. She came out. She made an announcement that she's pregnant for this young man. But there's a big double standard that people are highlighting with this relationship, right? We're always speaking about that. But when it's a man dating a younger woman, we find it to be cringing, right? But now there's a new dynamic out there. You have older women that are speaking, that are dating younger men. We call these women cougars, right? Now, we talking about the double standard where we see a man versus a woman doing the same thing. Obviously, there's different objectives there. We as men, we invest in women. And women, they want to be invested in. So you have older women that are trying to speak to younger men, date younger men, eventually for these younger men that might, whatever financial bracket they're in, but wealthy men, such as in this case, this man plays for the NBA. All right, so obviously he's going to be taking care of her. So we look at the objective, and sometimes we question the motive. Right? And when you're talking about somebody pursuing money, all right. But us men, regardless of the fact whatever side of the fence you're on, right? It's still looked at as predatory. You're speaking to somebody so young and so naive. So once again, Drea Michelle, she's receiving a lot of backlash, and we're just giving different examples. There's a lot of different examples of people doing the same thing. Like I just mentioned, you have Puff Daddy and Young Miami. All right. Not everybody was skeptical about that. You didn't hear too much people had problems about that, right? So it's kind of like, what's your intention? So it's deeper than just the age difference, right? The age difference is the main factor. But there's a lot of factors that play into it that persuade people's opinion of the dynamic, right? Because it's like, according to the relationship, that's how we judge the people. Nobody was judging Diddy with Young Miami. But when you see somebody like Shaq's age, Shaquille O'Neal, trying to holler at a younger woman, for some reason it's cringing, right? For some reason Shaq gets a lot of backlash for that, or he's trying to holler at the younger women, right? But now you have this whole tables turned. Now you got women doing the same now. Drea Michelle is currently pregnant for Jalen Green, Trailblazers player, all right, NBA young man. So, for the most part, man, I'm just skeptical. I'm still on the fence about this subject. And in the near future, I would love to revisit this whole topic. You know what I mean? But like I said, there's just more dynamics to it. You got to think about somebody's intent at the end of the day. My son Shaq a pimp. Yeah, Shaq. I don't know if Shaq's a pimp. I know Shaq is an officer. That I know. All right? Now, moving on. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Make sure you guys are sharing this podcast. All right, we're just speaking about Dre and Michelle and Jalen Green's new relationship and the backlash that what's the name is receiving. Dre and Michelle's receiving. All right. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. We call that wiping your feet on the rug, same way you do at your grandparents' house. Show that you guys are raised right. Make sure you guys are sharing this stream. Share the stream for me. All right. Share this podcast. This is episode number 77. All right, so we're 23 episodes away from episode 100. All right, so this is a big accomplishment. This is the graveyard shift, nonetheless. All right, and we're here with the people. Now, you guys, I want to speak about something else. I want to speak about this is something big right here. First of all, shout out to Meek Mill. Shout out to Meek Mill with the album sales. Meek Mill, I think they say he sold about 6,000 albums. All right, for the EP Heathenism. Shout out to Meek Mill. Nonetheless, the numbers are not that great. They're a little bit of lackluster, but shout out to MMG, shout out to the family. And we got to speak about stuff like that. All right. Shout out to, who that, Schoolboy Q? All right. What number Schoolboy Q did? Schoolboy Q, hold up. I think Schoolboy Q sold 39,000 records, 36,000. Schoolboy Q did 36,000 out the gate. Something Blue Lips. Shout out to Schoolboy Q. Some lackness. Hip hop is lacking in sales right now. All right. I don't think there's too much to speak about that. Shout out to Meek Mill nonetheless. Hopefully Meek Mill can get back with the numbers, because the numbers lately, as in albums, Meek Mill hasn't been doing the greatest. But there's a lot of different factors in hip hop. You have streaming. Obviously, he's still doing shows. So I'm pretty sure his show numbers are still up there. His content, the records that he's dropped prior, there's still a great demand for them. So at the end of the day, he's still doing streaming numbers. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of different platforms that Meek Mill's eating off of. Maybe not necessarily record sales is doing it for him, but nonetheless, shout out to Meek Mill. All right, shout out to Schoolboy Q. It looks like the numbers are down also, but overall, they're saying hip hop, the numbers are down. That's why you see like hip hop artists now we're venturing into country music now. All right, shout out to Beyonce with that new country single that she just dropped. I'm seeing a lot of black people entering into the country music realm. Now I know this is gonna be an uphill battle. Because we're not making the conventional country music, though it is in that category. All right, so now we had to break a lot of barriers in hip hop. So I'm pretty sure it might be twice as simple, but we still got barriers that we have to get over when you're talking about hip hop, black people transition into country music. Because I heard certain radio stations wasn't even playing Beyonce's country music song. All right, and you guys know we the salt of the earth, so anything that we do to a certain level, especially our performance level. So it's the inevitable, but think about the barriers that we have to break with each genre that we enter, each realm of industry that we enter that are not used to us being there and being dominant. All right, we have to learn how to get through this and finesse our way through the system. All right, so shout out to all the black people that are currently doing country music. Keep doing that music. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a fan of country music. I'm a big fan of country music, nonetheless, because that's like the blues, all right? So that's music of substance. That's white people's music of substance. You see, as black people, we got the blues, we got R&B, we got this different type of intimate, you know what I mean? Food for the spirit. That's their food for the spirit. They have country music, you know what I mean? I want to know where did country music derive from? I don't know what birthed country music. I would love to know what actually birthed country music. I would love to know that, to be honest with you. I got to do my homework, because a lot of times when I look behind things, I'm seeing that we was responsible. Now, I'm not saying black people created country music. That's not what I'm saying. Nor am I not saying that, all right? I cannot confirm, neither deny, but I don't know where country music derived from, but it's a great art form, all right? And like I said, that's white people's blues, that part. Shout out to this comment section. What Empress saying? Country music is such a vibe. That's what I was going to say. Country music is kind of like Southern soul. Facts though. Facts. That's white folks Southern music. See what Paul Biz was saying. I'm reading the comment section right now. I dated an older woman in my early 20s. You remember old school L.O.T.S. I think that double standard is wrong. Facts though. Facts though. And then at the same time, you got to think about it. When we think about women, we think about a more vulnerable vessel. Keep in mind, not to just dwell on that subject, but we might chime in and out with that subject. But when you're speaking about a woman versus a man, you think about a woman being a vulnerable vessel, a woman being more easily influenced as opposed to a man. So that's where the double standard stands at, right? Because you as a man, they expect you to have, you as a man, your discipline is expected to be stronger than a woman's. You know what I mean? Your knowledge of life is supposed to be more extensive than a woman. You're supposed to know more about life. You're supposed to be able to handle more pressure than a woman, presumably as a man, because we're more of a masculine vessel. So with that being said, you'll look at a woman being taken advantage of over quicker than a man. And most men, to be honest with you, we don't like to admit that we've been taken advantage of, right? Because then you might consider you soft, you pussy. You know what I mean? You can't protect yourself. And you as a man, that's not a masculine trait to be soft. It's not a masculine trait to be a victim, all right? So that's where the double standard lies, just off top, the perception of it. An older man speaking to getting with a younger woman, an older man, same age, up in the ages of 40 versus a woman that's 21, you're going to look like, oh, he's preying on this weak vessel. But when you see a young man now, you have a woman change the shoes. You have a woman now, a woman that's 39, such as a Drea Michelle, and you got a young man now. You're gonna look at the man like, yeah, she's taking advantage of that nigga because maybe that nigga's thinking with his dick. But at the same time now, him as a man now, he's gonna be more reluctant to admit that he got taken advantage of by Mrs. Drea Michelle. Because you gotta think about a man's ego also. A man's ego, though women have ego, but our ego applies to different things. All right. A woman's ego might be her looks and all that. A man's ego, men can have egos about their looks, but a man's more going to have an ego about being masculine, about it's more competitive with the physical competition as men. You want to be stronger. You want to appear to be stronger than the next man. All right. You want to appear to be mentally more stronger than the next man. You want to appear to be more tougher than the next man. You want to appear to be you have more knowledge than the next man. Right? It's the comparison, whose dick's bigger, so to speak. Pause. That's what we as men do. All right. So it's a little bit different. Though men and women do have pride, we both have pride. The way we express our pride sometimes can be similar and sometimes can be different. All right. So yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely a difference there, Paul Bizzle. Definitely. Why are men like that in the first place? It's y'all egos, I swear. Nah, definitely. We as men, we have some egos, you know? But you gotta keep in mind now, you guys are estrogen based, we are testosterone based, okay? So when you're speaking about testosterone, that's brute force. That's what gives us our strength, right? And with the strength, that's what fuels your ego. The stronger you are, the bigger your ego is gonna be. So it's a bit different, right? Women are more estrogen based. So they want to be soft and voluptuous. So the more sexy a woman is, the more prideful she is. The more sexy a woman is, the more confident she is. The more sexy a woman is, the more she feels like she's dominating over other women, right? Yeah, but we both have egos, but what fuels our egos sometimes are similar and sometimes different. I mean, yeah. Sometimes similar, sometimes different. Facts, though. All right? Shout out to everybody. Bada bing, bada bang. All right, so yeah, and we'll speak about that a little bit more. All right, but what was just talking about, bro? What was just talking about? You guys just threw me off right now. Mike Tyson, 39-year-old Drea Michelle, Cat Williams. All right. So now I want to speak about something else, man. Let's go into something else. I got sidetracked right there. All right. With that being said, I want to speak about Dame Dash and Steve Styles. Dame Dash and Steve Styles going off at each other. All right. Now, listen, I want to give a big shout out to Mike Tyson. All right. And I'm even going to give a shout out to a white boy. What's the white boy's name again? Jake. Let me see here. Mike Tyson. All right, Jake Paul. Listen, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are scheduled to fight. This is something new I didn't see. I haven't seen this the whole week. Today I look on the internet and I'm looking on Instagram and I'm seeing this Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. All right, and at first I didn't believe it. I'm gonna be quite honest with you, but I did my homework, did my due diligence, and I seen more and more articles about it. So with that being said, as people were speaking about this, I just started, okay, this must be verified, right? It's not just a internet fluke, so to speak. It's not just a meme. It's not a probability. It's actually contractually, this is going to happen. So you guys, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are about to fight. What's going on, comment section? Empress, be completely honest as a woman, young one at that. Let me see. I'm going to be completely honest as a woman, young one at that. I definitely been played right in my face by older men. Y'all not all like that, but older men do have tendencies of taking advantage. Nah, that's a fact though. You gotta remember, we more seasoned. You're an older man, you more seasoned. But it's a double-edged sword, so keep in mind. For some reason, you can't get away from the subject. The subject's serious. But you just gotta keep in mind, when women get around us men, the first thing a woman, first of all, of course, a sexual attraction. There has to be a physical attraction there, right? Obviously, there has to be a physical attraction there. But one thing that I see women always tell me is they want a man to teach them something. Okay? So it's a double-edged sword. Though, yes, we can take advantage of you because we're knowledgeable, right? We've been somewhere. On the other side of that coin, that's what women are requesting. That's what they desire. That's one of the top prerequisites for a woman to be around a man. Most women say they don't want to be around a man if they can't learn from him. Especially women that want to grow in life, financially, whatever, economically. Women that want to grow. Women would be first to tell you that they want a man that they can learn from. All right? So it's a double-edged sword with that being said. At the same time, yes, a man, he can abuse that. Same way a woman can abuse her beauty. She can abuse her seductive ways. She could use them. She can weaponize her beauty. It's the same thing. A woman can do that also, right? But yeah, that's definitely a factor. But nonetheless, when we're speaking about this Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, yo, listen. You guys know about Jake Paul. You guys know about Mike Tyson. First of all, Mike Tyson's reputation, he sees himself also. You're speaking about Jake Paul. You're talking about Jake Paul. This kid is he used to be a Disney World actor. Not Disney, Disney Channel actor. All right. So you guys see Jake Paul. I keep forgetting his name. Jake Paul's ascension into boxing. All right. This kid started off as an amateur boxer, obviously. His background, you know what I mean? He's coming from the Disney Channel. So he doesn't come from an aggressive background. There's nothing intimidating about where he's derived from. But nonetheless, this kid has made an impression in the boxing arena. All right. Once again, Jake Paul. He has a brother, Logan Paul. All right. These are two white boy brothers. Now, Jake Paul, he's been boxing and he's been quite successful in the boxing arena. We got to give this white boy's credit. Right? And he's defying a lot of the odds. All right? He's defying a lot of the odds. He's a very unconventional boxer. We've never seen nothing of the sort in this history of the sport. So he's kind of like, not kind of, but he's making an impact culturally wise in the boxing arena. You got to give a big shout out to Jake Paul. All right? With that being said, Jake Paul's been running through them. He's been running through a list of opponents. We've seen Jake Paul knock niggas on their ass, on their 4 pockets. You heard me. Jake Paul's doing his numbers as well as his brother Logan Paul's doing his numbers. All right? Now, with that being said, Jake Paul, a lot of people are skeptical about Jake Paul's opponents. Don't shoot the messenger. All right? A lot of people are skeptical about Jake Paul. Some people are saying some of Jake Paul's opponents are not worthy opponents. He's not fighting professional boxers per se. He's fighting anybody that's in hand-to-hand combat sports. All right? He's fought some MMA fighters before, UFC or MMA fighters, but they're playing by the rules of boxing. All right? So big shout out to Jake Paul, but nonetheless, his track record his track record is questionable at this moment, right? But we still got to give the kid credit because he doesn't come from a fighting background. He has no highlights. He hasn't conquered no sport of hand-to-hand combat yet. But the way he's coming into boxing is unconventional. We've never seen this before. Let's just be quite honest, right? He's fighting fighters that you wouldn't predict, not your typical fighters. All right? So his opponents are not the typical opponents of a boxer. This is something that's also giving credence to his impact on the sport. He's doing something in the realm of boxing that we've never seen before. The way he's coming in, the opponents that he's choosing, the amount of time that he's been boxing, the background that he has. We've never seen that in the sport of boxing. And we just got to we got to call a spade a spade. He's dominating. Whatever he's doing, he's dominating. He's winning. He's putting niggas on his backs. The white boy's putting niggas on their backs. We got to give the white boy his credit. We got to give Jake Paul his credit. All right? Shout out to Logan Paul also. He's been knocking niggas on their back. But this is the problem right here. We've yet to see Jake Paul fight a young, healthy boxer with a decent track record. I'm not saying that he has to go fight somebody of his weight that's an elite, obviously, right? Because we want to see an actual match. We don't want to see him get knocked out too early. So he has to be a worthy opponent. He's not at the level of fighting the elites at this moment. But I think he needs to at least tippy-toe on the fundamental level, base level, level one. He needs to fight more creditable boxing opponents. And this is the problem with Jake Paul. But nonetheless, with all this skepticism being said, with all these different factors, these dynamics that we're speaking of, the man is a cash cow. Jake Paul is bringing in the revenue. Big shout out to Jake Paul. He's bringing in that revenue. All right? So now Jake Paul is scheduled to fight. Jake Paul is scheduled to fight Mike Tyson. All right? July 20th. This is a fight that I'm going to go watch, my good people. I'm going to go watch this fight, to be quite honest with you. And I'm going to go watch that David Haney and Ryan Garcia fight. I'm going to go watch both fights. Probably at Tootsie's. You know how I'm going to be in Tootsie's, a little white girl strip club. That part. You know what I mean? Big screen. Should be nice. Nonetheless, we'll be watching Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, as well as Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Now, most people are saying Jake Paul's out his mind. Most people are saying Jake Paul's out his mind for even considering fighting Mike Tyson. All right? Go see the fights in person. That part, definitely. Most people are advising that Jake Paul does not fight Mike Tyson. A lot of people are skeptical about this fight. A lot of people are saying that Jake Paul is out his mind for even considering or let alone getting Mike Tyson to sign off on this fight. All right? I'm not necessarily one of those people, but I see the validity in why people feel like that. All right? Now, a lot of people are under the conception that Mike Tyson, obviously age, right? How old is Mike Tyson right now? Mike Tyson's 60. I know he has to be well above 55. Let me see here. Mike Tyson's age. Mike Tyson's age. Let me see. 57 years old. All right. So Mike Tyson is 57 years old. All right. So with that being said, age is a factor. We know physically Mike Tyson shouldn't be able to take too much punishment at that age. All right. So this is one of the biggest factors about this whole fight. All right. This is a dynamic that sticks out. They're saying that Mike Tyson's too old, obviously, to be fighting Jake Paul. The damage that Mike Tyson can endure. Listen, he ain't no young whippersnapper no more. Tyson's not a young whippersnapper no more. So you got to factor in that Mike Tyson, with that age, he could develop a lasting injury, right? At this age, the age of 57, Mike Tyson getting into the ring, it's also something where he has to use extreme precaution. It leaves less room for punishment. His defense has to be up. At the age of 57, the same punches that you'd be able to sustain, the same punches that you'd be able to absorb the impact and still be able to fight, you're not physically that resilient no longer. Mike Tyson is older now. So those same punches that you would have been able to not necessarily brush off, but make it to the next round, you might not be able to make it to the next round at the age of 57. You might not be able to endure the impact of these punches at that age. Mike Tyson's 57 years old. So this is kind of dangerous also of Mike Tyson. We understand Mike Tyson's his physical capability. For one, credit to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson looked great inside the ring. If you guys have been seeing Mike Tyson recent videos of him training, you see Mike Tyson's been amazing inside the ring. His training has been amazing. Nonetheless, he still has agility. His strength obviously is still there, and strength being the factor. So let's just talk about it, all right? The pros and cons. Mike Tyson, he's older. He can't take as much pain as he used to, right? The impact of the punches. But with that being said, Mike Tyson he probably lost slightly, probably agility, speed. He lost a little bit of speed, which he can compensate with wisdom because he's a well-seasoned. His understanding, his knowledge of boxing can compensate for less speed, all right? He's still strong. Mike Tyson is still strong. So with that being said, he still has the strength to knock you out. So that's a big concern that Jake Paul has to watch out for. That's still a factor. Jake Paul has to make sure that Mike Tyson doesn't knock him out, doesn't break his jaw, which he's been known to do to opponents, all right? Mike Tyson still can break somebody's jaw. Mike Tyson still can knock somebody out. So he still has that factor in place. But what he's missing is a slight agility. Mike Tyson's not as fast as he used to be, all right? So Jake Paul can take advantage of that. But where Mike Tyson can compensate for that, where Mike Tyson can balance that out is his knowledge of boxing. At that age, Mike Tyson's knowledge of boxing can compensate. It can make up for the lack of speed. He's going to make less mistakes at the age that he's at versus a younger Mike Tyson. So wisdom sets in, and that factors in when you're talking about who's going to win this fight, all right? So nonetheless, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, they're going to go at it, all right? Jake Paul needs to be aware of that, and Jake Paul needs to be careful. Jake Paul needs to be super careful. And Mike Tyson needs to make sure that his endurance is up, but there's factors in this fight that I think Mike Tyson cannot train for. Obviously, Mike Tyson can't take as much punishment as he used to. So I'm hoping that Mike Tyson makes it out of this okay. Honestly, I'm praying for Mike, and I'm hoping Mike makes it out of this okay. And a piece of me is praying for Jake Paul too, because Mike Tyson still can knock a nigga out, man. But nonetheless, shout out to Mike Tyson, shout out to Jake Paul. This is a good fight, but still, you're looking at Jake Paul's track record. He's still not fighting young fighters that are professional boxers that stay in boxing. Not no crossover hybrid, not no UFC fighter, former UFC fighter, none of that. No former basketball player, no amateur boxer, no. I want to see Jake Paul fight a creditable boxer, all right? But nonetheless, shout out to Jake Paul, shout out to the Paul brothers, Logan and Jake Paul, and shout out to Mike Tyson, obviously, also. All right. You guys, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Make sure you guys are sharing this podcast. All right. This is episode number 77. We on late night. We're gonna be going on time next week. All right. But sometimes things are subject to change. So I'll tell you guys, make sure you guys are turning on your notification bells. Nonetheless. All right, now, you guys, I'm seeing something that actually that looks like it transpired either yesterday or the day before yesterday. You got Steve Stout and Dame Dash going at it. All right, now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Steve Stout. He's a legend music exec. All right, amazing accomplishments in the music industry. We are familiar with Dame Dash, one-third owner of the former Rockefeller label. All right, now, as usual, you guys know Dame Dash. People look at Dame Dash sideways a lot of times. Dame Dash, usually people are skeptical about his philosophies, his business philosophies. But nonetheless, Dame Dash is respected. And we respect him here on the L.O.T.S Approved Media channel also. With that being said, as of recently, Mr. Steve Stout. Steve Stout is a former music exec. I don't know if he's still in the music industry, but obviously he's in he's still in Hollywood, right? Doing other things in sports and things and list of other things. I don't know what hat, but this is a man of many hats. You know what I mean? Getting people endorsement deals, etc., etc. Big shout out to Steve Stout. Now, Steve Stout recently he was on Shannon Sharp's Shay Shay Club. And we're gonna segue to Shannon Sharp also. All right. Steve Stout was on Shannon Sharp's Shay Shay Club. Now you already know Shannon Sharp's show. It bust. The show bust from when he had Cat Williams on the show. The show took off. So now he has Mr. Steve Stout on the show. Nonetheless, Steve Stout, in the same tradition of Steve Stout, Steve Stout usually he barely bites his tongue. He rarely bites his tongue. Steve Stout is not gonna say the most popular thing about his comrades or his peers. Usually, right? Steve Stout is known to poke the bee's nest, so to speak. Steve Stout is known to rub people wrong. Throughout Steve Stout's career, he's known to rub people wrong. And same as today when he spoke on Dame Dash. Now, for some reason, Steve Stout had some disparaging words to speak about and speaking in reference to Dame Dash. I don't know where the Steve Stout and Dame Dash thing even started. I don't know how this beef, how you call it beef, where this even started, right? I don't think Steve Stout and Dame Dash were friends at all, and I don't know if they ever was friends in the beginning of their careers. But obviously, they have not been friends for very long at this current moment. It's safe to say. Now, Steve Stout spoke about Dame Dash. He chose to speak about Dame Dash on Shannon Sharp's show, the Shay Shay Club. Now you guys know if you're gonna talk about somebody on the Shay Shay Club, it's gonna be viral. Anybody that goes on the Shay Shay Club after Cat Williams came on that show, anybody that precedes that comes after Cat Williams, you're on full. The light is on you. Everything that comes out your mouth is gonna go viral. And it's looking like everybody is taking advantage of the show and taking the same lead. They're taking what's the name's lead. They're taking Cat Williams' lead. All right, and they're speaking about their grievances with their co-workers, with their colleagues. All right, with their peers. Everybody that goes on Shannon Sharp's show, they're more compelled to speak about peoples that they may have problems with or they've had problems with in the past. And the same typically as when Steve Stout went on the show. Steve Stout recently spoke about Dame Dash. He said some things about Dame Dash. Let me see here. He spoke a lot about Dame Dash. And like I said, he said some disparaging things about Dame Dash. Right? Steve Stout, for one, he spoke about Dame Dash and the way Dame Dash speaks to people, basically saying that his philosophy and the way he speaks to people is where he runs into a lot of issues with people, right? He also said how nobody wants to work with Dame Dash, just like I said, the way Dame Dash speaks to people. Cameron chimed in also, and also Mace came in to speak in defense of Dame Dash. You guys know when he's speaking about Cameron, he's speaking about Mace. These guys are Harlem Knights. All right, they all from Harlem, so they're comrades. So you speak about one, and also Dame Dash. They're familiar with Dame Dash. Cameron used to work for Dame Dash on the street level. You know what I mean? So they got a lot of respect for Dame, and they spoke in Dame's defense. But nonetheless, they talk about how Dame, the way Dame speaks to people. And Cameron said that also. He admitted that that's probably the one thing that he probably would agree with, the way Dame speaks to people, which is an issue. You guys know Dame Dash is very unapologetic. He's unapologetic. All right? So, like I said, he went on Shannon Sharp's show, Mr. Steve Stout. He spoke about Dame. Now, you know this got back to Dame real quick. All right, if you guys don't know, Dame Dash I don't know if he's a former Golden Glove, but Dame Dash knows how to box. Dame Dash has hands, all right? So when you see Dame Dash, the way he talks, the way he speaks to people, you never really heard about Dame Dash getting done in. For as arrogant as he is, for as boisterous that he is, for as disrespectful that they allegedly say he is, right? We've seen him disrespect people, right? And Dame Dash has had his reasons for disrespecting people. I'm pretty sure he has valid reasons. I don't think Dame Dash just speaks about people and he's just disrespectful for no reason, right? Obviously, there might be something there that most people fail to admit. A lot of people fail to admit. Most of the time, you like to see the person. You speak about the person that's actually being aggressive as opposed to what's triggering that person. And that's a lot of people's point of view at times. They're not looking at the person that's throwing the rock and hiding it. They're looking at the person that presumably looks like they got a rock in their hand. You can see this nigga arguing with somebody, but you're not questioning why is he arguing. You're not questioning what triggered this man to do this. All right? And that's the thing. It's a lot of times with Dame Dash. Though it might not be a valid reason, I'm saying there's a reason there. All right? So now, he spoke about Dame Dash, and Cameron and Mace came to Dame Dash's defense and saying that Dame Dash, basically, these are the pros and cons about Dame Dash. Though Dame Dash speaks to people, and he might speak to people in an unfavorable way, right? Dame Dash speaks about people in a way that sometimes can be disrespectful. I'm not condoning that. But we got to keep it, call a spade when we're speaking about how impactful Dame Dash is. How genius Dame Dash is. Dame Dash is responsible for more billionaires in hip hop than any other business exec in hip hop. Dame Dash is more responsible for rappers becoming billionaires. I think Dame Dash has created more millionaires than any exec in hip hop. Well, let's not say that. Let's say the richest millionaires. Dame Dash is responsible for billionaires and even the millionaires that are gone past half a billion, a quarter billion, right? When you're speaking about there's a lot of people you can speak about, man. Just off top, Kanye West and Jay-Z. You're speaking about Kanye West and Jay-Z. Dame Dash is solely responsible for Jay-Z and Kanye West's success. Now, when you're speaking about that, you could kind of say that Dame Dash is partially responsible for Beyonce's success also. Please don't shoot the messenger. Dame Dash might be possibly responsible for partially Beyonce's success. Because Jay-Z manages Beyonce. Jay-Z's responsible for Beyonce touching billionaire status. And who's responsible for Jay-Z? So what I'm trying to show you is Dame Dash is so impactful that he made billionaires, and in turn, those billionaires made billionaires because of what Dame Dash exposed them to. Dame Dash is impactful. Dame Dash is responsible for more billionaires. Dame Dash is responsible for more billionaires in hip-hop than any exec in hip-hop history. Let's be honest here. Whether he's directly responsible or there's a 6 degrees of separation, he's responsible for billionaire success. So when we're speaking about Dame Dash, we have to be careful. Though he says that Dame Dash gets in trouble. This is Steve Stout. Steve Stout quoted saying that Dame Dash, his antics, it's the antics that he pulls is why he gets all that ridicule, right? That's the reason why he's blackballed. This is what they're saying. All right, that part. This is what they're saying. So I just want to say, man, shout out to Dame Dash, nonetheless. Shout out to Steve Stout, but I think somebody has to I want to see somebody interview Steve Stout and just speak about all the people that he has gripes with. I want somebody to go into a timeline of Steve Stout and all the people that he had issues with. Steve Stout has had a lot of issues with a lot of people. All right? A lot of people. I remember when 50 Cent had issues with Steve Stout. I don't know if Steve Stout used to manage Nas. I think he managed Nas at one point. But I know he had a role in Nas's career. All right? And I recall when 50 approached Steve Stout at the NBA game. All right? He was in Steve Stout's face. All right? And obviously he was seeing clowning Steve Stout on Instagram. You know how 50 is. Relentless, unapologetic. All right? But I'm just curious. I want to see Steve Stout's track records with people. I see Steve Stout is known to ruffle niggas' feathers. All right? But I never see what I never see what initiates it, what starts it. I want to see what's fueling Steve Styles' issues with these people. Because I don't hear about the issues. I just see when Steve Styles is engaging in the back and forth. But I don't see what actually triggers Steve Styles. And I'm curious to know what's triggering Steve Styles. All right. But nonetheless, I will shout out to Steve Styles. You know what I mean? And just a segue. All right, there's a picture online, you guys. There's a picture online with Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is seen with Steve. He's seen getting out of a car. All right. Shannon Sharpe was dressed in a way. He was dressed in a way that got him clowned on the internet. Now, he had this tight outfit on. It was an olive green tight outfit on. Shot at the shoe games. I think those were what was those? Those were Dunks. I think he had Dunks on. Check me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I think he had Dunks on. Then he had the man purse, an orange man purse. So he has the green olive tight suit on. Then he had the orange man purse. Now, he received a lot of ridicule for that. Shannon Sharpe received a lot of ridicule for that, man. And I'm just telling you, he's going to be the butt of everybody's jokes. Throughout the rest of the year, you guys are going to see that Shannon Sharpe is going to be the butt of everybody's jokes. Shannon Sharpe, at this moment, at this time, the zest jokes are not going to stop. Shannon Sharpe, is safe to say, for the rest of your career, for the rest of the career in showbiz, right? Because you no longer play sports. For the rest of your career in showbiz, your sexuality is always going to be at question. Your sexuality is always going to be the butt of everybody's jokes. Shannon Sharpe is zesty, my friends. The way he talks and the way he dresses. So Shannon Sharpe has a lot of things that are, the pattern there is there. The pattern there. There's too many things to point out about Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is feminine. Don't shoot the messenger. Trust me, I know Shannon Sharpe is probably super mad. I know Shannon Sharpe is going to want to fight because he's still a man, right? He has testosterone pumping in his body. But same time, pause. Shannon Sharpe, his sexuality is always going to be at question. Shannon Sharpe is going to be the butt of everybody's jokes to the end of his celebrity, all right? So this is not going to stop. So that picture that you see surfacing online with Shannon Sharpe with the orange suit on, with the olive green suit, with the orange man bag, that picture that you see of Shannon Sharpe, that's a despicable picture right there, man. Shout out to the Shay Shay Club, but that's no bueno, Shannon. You need to get a whole new member. Keep in mind, Shannon Sharpe had a gay stylist. All right, he changed the man. I know y'all saw him. He was courtside with his gay stylist next to him. He was shoulder to shoulder with his stylist. All right, so Shannon Sharpe, you just gonna have to be. This is what it is, man. You're gonna have to embrace it. Shannon Sharpe's gonna have to embrace all this, man. Shout out to the Shay Shay Club, nonetheless. But boy, my man, you're gonna have to wear that jacket for the rest of your career, man. But nonetheless, shout out to the Shay Shay Club. Now, you guys, we about to bring this podcast to an end. Once again, this is episode number 77, all right, of the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. This is the graveyard shift. All right, it's a little late. We're going to go on a little bit earlier next week. I promise you that, all right, because it is a little late, and my energy is a little bit low, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? But it's all about consistency, and we here, all right? So once again, I'm the author imitated but cannot be duplicated, okay? I'm the incomparable, the elected voice of the streets, you know what I'm saying? Lord of the streets, learner of the streets, leader of the streets. That part. I'm the one that keeps creating what they keep taking. That part. All right, I'm the top public enemy number one. This is powered by L.O.T.S approved media. Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast, episode number 77. So that means we got 23 episodes left until episode 100. All right. Once again, you guys, Don't Shoot the Messenger, powered by L.O.T.S approved media. And let's get this outro music going. Bada bing. Grrr. That part. All right, you guys, make sure you guys enjoy the weekend. Give praise to the Most High for breathing breath in our lungs that was able to meet up this Friday. All right. By the grace of Most High, hopefully you guys, we can meet up next Friday. We will be going on time. I want you guys to turn your notification bells on. Turn your notification bells on. That part. All right. Remember, the highest mountain has the best view. Discouragement and failure are the stepping stones to success. Don't be scared to fail. Don't be scared to fail, and don't be scared of discouragement. It gets discouraging at times. The steepest mountain has the best view, so just keep climbing. All right. Show the universe gratitude, and it's gonna reciprocate that gratitude. All right. That's where your blessings coming from. Show the universe gratitude. Be thankful for the things that you have, and don't dwell on the things that you don't have, because the universe keeps registering that you don't have, and the universe is never gonna give you anything. It's your perception, which is what manifests your reality. Alright? L.O.T.S. Approved Media, Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. Episode number 77, I'm out. Salute. Peace, y'all.